Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. So welcome to MPRD 213 or EPRD 213. Today we will discuss about the assessment briefing. Okay, for the assessment we will have six major assessments to be discussed and to be provided by the end of our uh, program, which is the first one is the progress report or the inspection report, which covers 10% of the carry marks. Unlike previous semester, now, starting from this semester, all assignments or progress report or any reports will be conducted individually. But however, you are still in the same group, working in the same project, but in different tasks or in different jobs. I will later discuss about it to you. And then we will have a progress report. So proposal report is the starting reports where you need to submit at the early of the semester. And for mechanical students, we should be finish doing our progress report now, and we'll be finishing it in the first week of new semester. But however, for electrical students, maybe there will be a week delay or a week postpone for it. Later, Sir Rafiq will discuss about it to you guys. And next one is the progress report. Progress report is actually to report all the progress, the things that you have done within the period after the proposal until third or fifth week of semester. Okay, so what you should put in your progress report is actually the literature review that you have refined back during from your proposal reports, and the current progress outcome have you done during that particular time. And the third one is actually the logbook, which cover 10%. So each students in the team member needs to provide their own logbook and needs to record what you are doing within on each every weeks or maybe every day. And these logbooks you need to bring it whenever you meet your supervisor. And finally, it's about the final report, which covers 20% of the carry marks. For this final report, you will have to combine all the tasks that you have done individually to make it into one full page of reports. Okay, and next we will have a FYP trial demonstrations, where before you will have your final demonstration and oral presentations, you need to submit or you need to present your unpicked project or unfinished project to your supervisor to be evaluated. This is due to because we need to determine whether you are almost at the finishing or still far from finishing your project. And then you have a conduct of task where your lecturer and you yourself will evaluate your peers, and this is covering 20% of the carry marks. And lastly is about the presentations, where you will be placed in one hall where you will demonstrate your presentations, your project, and we will evaluate based on your demonstrations and your oral presentations. This will cover 30% of carry marks. Okay, next let's discuss about the project. So project, according to the Project Management Institute, project is a short-term task that has definite outline or specifications of beginning and the finishing in time and specific objective and resources. Therefore, project is not a routine operations, but more to a specific set of operations that has timeline of guidance and usually being the first time in the organization's activities. So what it means is you will have a particular timeline from start, and it will have ending time. So this is what we call a project. And thus this is project is something that is new, and it is not something that is continuous. If continuous, yang macam berlaku dekat kilang atau apa semua yang mana diorang buat sendiri sentiasa berterusan, itu kita tak panggil project. Project is something that is new that you need to start, and after that there is a finishing time. Okay, so same goes to your MPRD 213 or EPRD 213. You will be gathered in a group of people which will have a different task that will, when assigned together, it will form something that we call a project. Okay, So we will discuss this in next slide. But the main purpose of FYP is actually it requires students to be able to apply all technical and theoretical knowledge learned during 2.5 years in your diploma programs. So meaning that you need to apply back all the theoretical and technical uh, knowledge that you have learned before to adapt in your project. If you adapt something that is new, for example, kalau you cerita pasal nuclear, something that we haven't learned before, that is not FYP reports, because FYP reports is actually the final year project. Final year, what have you learned during your 2.5 years? And you need to adapt it into a kind of task of this project. Okay. So what is project? So kita dah bincang pasal project tadi. But however, the characteristics project is that it must be able to provide a tangible products. Tangible means dia mesti dalam keadaan yang berfizikal. So we can use it, we can see it, we can touch it, and it also must be objectivable. For example, if you try to create something that can store water, which what we call as water bottle. So your objective is to create something to store the water. Okay, and it must be tested and also collect data. So what it means that your project can be tested and collect data from it. For example, if you're trying to do a wind energy harvester, so you must have something uh, variables that we can collect that as a data. For example, the voltage of the output of the process. And then you need to have the project criteria. So what is project criteria? Project criteria is the characteristic of things that needs to be able to achieve the objective. Okay, this sounds confusing, but let me make something for example. So sebagai contoh, you want to talk to your family which live far away. You nak bercakap dengan family you yang mana family you duduk jauh. Okay, your objective is to be able to talk with them, to communicate with them. But the project criteria is that your communication should be fast, should be secured, meaning that nobody's will able to hear what you discuss about, and it must be cheap. Okay, so whatever you think that you need to do, it needs to be cheap, and again, it's easier to use. Okay, so bila you dah tahu ciri-ciri kriteria, objektif you nak bercakap dengan family you. Tapi kriteria dia mesti murah, mesti secure, tak ada siapa boleh dengar. Lepas tu mudah untuk bercakap dan sebagainya. So bila you buat pembacaan, you akan dapati ada beberapa cara for you to communicate to your parents even they live far away. For example, you can use your phone, or you can maybe email to them, or you can maybe send a letter to them. So based on the criteria, so yang mana yang lebih cepat, lebih secure dan lebih mudah untuk digunakan? Of course kita akan guna phone. So itu contoh project criteria. So since this project nowadays kita dah kena buat our own individual reports. So I will talk about what basically a mechanical students might have to do. So in project for mechanicals, actually kita boleh pecahkan kepada 3 bahagian. We can divide this into 3 sub-tasks, which are electrical part, design of the product and material, and analysis of the project. So let's talk about the electrical parts first. For electrical parts, for example, if you are going to do wind energy harvester or maybe hand crank portable charger. So basically all these things requires the electrical circuits and electrical components or parts. So for this particular job, you need to be able to provide the electrical system that helps to operate the design. For example, if you want to charge a phone, or maybe you want to create your own portable charger, so for sure you need to have uh, motor, you need to have stepper, you need to have battery and everything. So that one, you need to create your own system, electrical system. Doesn't mean that you need to draw literally the electrical circuits. No, but at least for mechanical students, you need to know what kind of the electrical parts that you need to provide. second part is the component selections which are based on technical findings. What it means is, for example, let's take about the motor. So we have a lot of motor types. The stepper motor, AC motor, DC motor, servo motor and everything. So which are one of these motors are better for you to charge your phone to use as the portable charger. So you need to read some more and everything. Then you can make your decisions which one to choose. And next part is actually a place of purchase prices which can be defined well with the address and the proof of price. Meaning that if you let's say you want to use DC motor, so you need to find where is the shop that you need to go, the factory or maybe the provider that you can purchase the motor, and you need to include the exact price of that motor. For example, you can go there, tengok dia punya harga, tangkap gambar ataupun minta invoice atau maybe you want to buy online. So you need to screenshot the price. Let's say if you were going to buy the stuff maybe through Lazada or Shopee, so dia akan ada harga kan. So you print screen and you put in your report. And then provide several components as comparisons. For example, kalau macam tadi kan kita ada banyak jenis motor kan. So you need to make sure your selections must be in term of comparison. Which one is much more better? Even DC motor ataupun AC motor pun dia ada banyak jenis dia juga. The one that can have a larger output of voltage, or maybe it needs requirements of high torque or lower torque, high RPM or lower RPM, etc. etc. So this is the job for the electrical parts. And then the second part is the design of the products. For design of the products, for this kind particular of job, the students needs to do a lot of reading and materials and make a comparison of the patterns. So you can find this via online actually. Senang saja, guna Google pun dah boleh dapat. But your challenge is to be able to design at least 5 design based on the reading material related to the project. What it means is, at least you kena dapatkan 5 jenis design daripada pembacaan you. And you can make it, you can draw using sketch. Pakai tangan pun boleh je sebenarnya, tak ada masalah. And then out of this design, you must have the ability to provide the solution on design based on the project criteria. I make an example. For example, you want to do wind energy harvester which to be installed at the highway ataupun on the road. So many types of wind energy harvester diorang letak dekat kawasan-kawasan yang tinggi, macam atas bumbung dan sebagainya. But since you nak letak atas jalan raya, the project criteria is that dia tak boleh terjatuh dekat tepi jalan dan sebagainya. So maybe you need to design something like a mounting, so dia boleh lekat dekat atas jalan dan sebagainya, which never had been done before from the previous punya design. So itu yang maksud dia ability to provide solutions on designs based on the project criteria. And then of course you need to find the place of purchase, prices are well defined, and the address of and also the proof of the price juga lah. And last but not least is about the material and analysis. So once the design have been done, the electrical have been confirmed, so it's time for another team member to provide which kind of materials need to be there. I make an example with our wind energy harvester. Sebelum ni student-student kita, most of them make the wind energy harvester to be movable, mobile, meaning that it needs to be light. So the blade of the wind energy harvester, most of them uses cloth atau kain. Sebab apa? Ringan. But however, if we were to install it on the road, so we cannot make something which the materials can tear easily ataupun rosak setengah mudah lah. So you need to be able to provide reasoning on the material selection based on reading, and you need also to find a place to purchase or outsource and well defined and compact. Dan you juga bertanggungjawab untuk membuat reading about the fabrication process. For example, do we need 3D printing? So how 3D printing works and so on and so on. Ataupun you mungkin you nak hantar ke kilang untuk you buat fabricate. So you need to know what the company and the price of it. And of course, you need to know what kind of material ataupun proses yang diorang perlu buat. Do they need welding? Do they need cutting metals or drilling? So yang itu yang you kena faham. And that one is actually you need to do research first. Okay. Then you have to provide all theoretical formula and relationship between two or more formula based on the project objective. For example, saya ambil lagi satu contoh ialah kalau you nak buat phone charger and you need to use the motor. So when the motor is rotated, it will produce an output voltage. So the thing is, the motor is rotated using the air ataupun wind speed. So wind speed, the variable is actually the velocity. So this velocity will create the kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy will be converted to the rotational movement. And this rotational movement or RPM can be converted by the generator inside the motor to make voltage. So you need to know all these relationships. And then last, when at the end, almost at the end of the project, where the project has been fabricated and so on, this particular students also needs to provide a test. Macam mana prosedur, macam mana you nak dapatkan data, then you kena dapatkan data tu. And then you can make a graph and make some summary about your findings. So I think this is all the task that can be given for mechanical students. But however, I do believe for electrical students can be quite similar juga. But instead for mechanical, where our parts is more into design of product and material analysis, maybe your parts is electrical parts. And the design of product and material analysis tu kurang sedikit lah. So if anything, you can always ask me for mechanical students and ask Sir Rafiq for electrical students.